Now boarding solo flight with Nicole Anderson. Good morning, you guys. It is another Monday, so we have a fresh new episode of Solo Flight Podcast for you today. And as an added bonus / surprise, it is a video solo episode. A lot of you guys have been asking for a video component on my solo episodes in the last 2 seasons. And we had some time today, so I figured why not try it out? Let's see if I'll be able to keep it up for all my other solos. Hopefully my schedule can allow these video episodes because I've mentioned in a previous episode that sometimes I'm just shooting this in my pajamas in the dark in my bedroom or whatever, so it takes a little bit more time and effort for me to set up the camera, the lights, and do everything. And you guys know your girl already has a lot on her plate, but fingers crossed that we can keep this up. If not, hopefully you guys still like the episodes. The meat is still the same anyway. All right, let's get right into it. Today, we will be exploring the nuances of life, relationships, and the pursuit of purpose. We're going to be diving into a topic that means so much to me and I'm sure resonates with so many of you, which is navigating life as an independent person in this modern world. We're going to discuss the joys and unique challenges that come with this journey and how strong friendships and relationships can solidify our sense of purpose and independence. I also want to talk about the concept of modern families and how our families can look very different nowadays and how we are able to stay connected despite where in the world we are thanks to Globe. I also want to give a special shout out and thank Connected powered by Globe for giving me a space to talk about this topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while and explore this idea, and of course for sponsoring this episode. Okay, so let's start with the joys of being an independent woman. Because it's so easy for people to assume that independence is a scary concept and that it would be easier to just stick with what you know. But I want to talk about how my independence has brought me so much joy. For many of us, myself included, embracing independence means stepping into a space where we can truly express ourselves, we can make our own choices, and follow our passions, much like I have found through my journey as a blogger, a vlogger, and now even a podcaster. Growing up as an only child, I was always used to entertaining myself because I didn't really have any siblings, so I never really knew anything else other than my reality. And being independent wasn't really a scary thing for me because I grew up in a single parent home and I saw how my mom was independent on her own. And then when I would go spend time with my dad's side of the family, his European culture also encouraged independence. So I just knew that to be the norm. And if I'm being honest, I also really liked being able to do what I want when I wanted. So I found that to be very liberating. Having family around the globe also meant that I would travel on my own at a very young age to go see family. And one of the most exhilarating aspects of independence is the opportunity for self-discovery, right? Because when you're not bound by the expectations of others, you're able to explore what truly resonates with you. And more often than not, that often leads to personal growth because you're able to uncover your own strengths, your weaknesses, and your desires. And each experience, whether it's pursuing a new hobby, or changing careers, or traveling alone, all of that contributes to a richer understanding of who you are. One example is when I was living in the US for college, I was surrounded by all my friends from school, and a lot of them came from around the world, and each had their own stories. And being around them made me want to try so many new things and live in and also see so many places. So to be able to do that, I worked as many jobs as I could take, and then dun sa naipong kong pera, I was able to travel and take a study abroad course in South America. And then the more cultures that I got to experience, the wider my lens grew for how people live their lives around the world. Tas doon ko na-realize na iba-iba tayo ng atake sa buhay pero walang mali o tama. Iba lang tayo. So from all that traveling, I was able to apply what I saw people were doing from different parts of the world that I liked, and then I applied that to my life. All that independence also gave me freedom of choice because it's allowed me to make decisions that align with my values and dreams. If I have followed the path that some family members, I should say, told me to take, I probably wouldn't have had the opportunities that I would have in my career right now. Because the one thing my parents wanted me to have was a college degree. They told me that as long as I finished that, I could choose to do whatever I wanted na. So they never really told me what career to take, basta lang makatapos ako. So nung nakatapos na ako, I started working a corporate job, which I actually enjoyed, but I also enjoyed being creative at the same time and sharing stories. So I did both. I would go to work in the morning and then come home and write or edit photos at night because I knew that as long as I wasn't financially dependent on my parents, I could pursue my passions on the side. Because my parents just wanted to see that I could stand on my own 2 feet. So when I showed them that I could do both, they didn't really worry so much anymore. Kasi syempre, kailangan ko muna patunayan na kaya ko, diba? And syempre, with independence, you also have the freedom of choice to choose your own path without compromise. Kasi whether it's deciding where to live or what career you want to pursue or how to spend your weekends, the power is in your hands. So you have this autonomy, which can be so empowering and fulfilling because it fosters this sense of control over your own life. So it's really all about embracing your autonomy and making decisions that spark joy for you and also that allow you to pursue the life that you want to live. Okay, so that's the good side. But of course, independence also comes with its own set of challenges. So as we forge our own paths, we might find ourselves grappling with loneliness or the pressure to have it all figured out right away. Kasi it's so easy to romanticize independence, but the reality often involves navigating the complexities of life alone, and sometimes that can feel quite overwhelming. So, how do we balance that independence with our need for connection? So, I think this is where strong friendships and modern families come into play. Well, what is a modern family, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. Modern day families are our evolved or found families. Nowadays, kasi, our families look very different from the traditional families of before, diba? Nowadays, the modern families are the families that we create, and they can look different for all of us. They each have their own unique dynamics. Some can be queer couples, some can be solo parent households, others can be dinks, or whatever your chosen family might be. By the way, for those that don't know, DINK is actually an acronym for Double Income No Kids Households. So if you're a couple and you live together and you don't have any kids, but you both have an income, then you are actually considered a DINK household. For me, my modern family are my friends. I have a bunch. I have my college friends who live in the US. I have the blogger besties. I have my other friends who you guys all see on Instagram or on my vlogs. And I'm really happy that I have this support group or this modern family that we call. So why do I bring this up? As easy as it is to say that on my journey in life and in my career that I've been independent for most of my adult life and that I did this all on my own is honestly just factually incorrect. Many times, both in front of and behind the camera, I have often leaned on a lot of my friends and my chosen families to help me through my personal struggles and challenges. And it's because of our mutual love and support for one another that I have been able to find the strength to continue on in my independence. And research even shows that meaningful relationships can significantly enhance our well-being. Our friends and partners can provide us with emotional support, motivation, and a sense of belonging, and all of which are crucial in our journey of self-discovery. I mean, I can give 100 examples of how many times my friends and my chosen family have gotten me through tough times, even especially actually when I'm in front of the camera or when I have to do live performances or live hostings, there have been so many events where I have called my friends crying in the bathroom backstage, and then someone's knocking in the bathroom and I have to go on stage that moment, and I literally am calling them and asking them to give me a pep talk or to just hype me up because I need the courage or the motivation to get me through this event or the next 2 hours that I just need to get through work. And other times, like launching this podcast, for example, I had a lot of self doubt in the beginning. And if I listened to other people, I probably wouldn't have even tried doing this because it was so scary. And it still is so scary as a medium because there's so much that I don't know. But it's because of a dinner. I specifically remember this dinner that I had with the blogger besties at the start of the year, or I think towards the end of last year, where we all sat down, we talked about our goals and our dreams for next year, which is this year now. We're sitting here talking, and each of us were sharing our goals. And I told them, oh, I really want to try out podcasting. And all of them on the table were immediately so supportive. They're like, oh my God, absolutely, you should do a podcast. It's so your personality. It's super bagay to you. And that pep talk, all of them just hyping me up and telling me that you should try it, you should do it. What could you lose? Like, just give it a shot. At least you know that you tried. All of that support gave me the confidence and the motivation to actually try this out. And here we are now, season 2. And I'm so thankful to my friends for doing that. Or even when I don't know what to talk about, I call my friends and be like, oh, I'll guest on your episode. I'd gladly talk about this, or la la la. And they step up and they show up and they help me out just like I do for them when they're also having hard times. And sometimes that's not necessarily your blood family. I understand that not everyone has the privilege or the opportunity to have a supportive family, or sometimes we're all dealt different cards. And like I said at the beginning of the episode, not one image or not one picture is right or wrong. Walang tama or mali na kung ano dapat yung suporta na pinanggagalingan, right? So if your chosen family, whatever that looks like for you, are the ones who are able to give you the support and get you through hard times, that's great. And we're so lucky to have that chosen family. Those are just a few of the many examples of how my friends and chosen family have empowered me. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way too. Real friends encourage us to pursue our dreams and provide us a safety net or support when we stumble, because that happens too. And many times in our country, there's a big focus on the family, especially in the media and in our culture, but not so much on families that don't look like the traditional mold. So it's easy for us to feel down or let down when we feel like our situations are so different from what we see around us. And that can get discouraging sometimes. I mean, for me, for one, growing up with a single mom, it would have been hard for me to feel like if I couldn't participate in father-daughter days. But somehow my mom found a way to make sure that either she or a proxy was always present, so I was never left out. And so from a young age, both my parents showed me that all families look different and that's okay. And that also brings me back to my point about not getting discouraged when we forge our own paths, because all of our paths are different and all of our families are different. And my chosen family are the ones I always call or go to when I don't know the answers to random things in life. If you remember the episode I did with Ava a while back, she mentioned that I have the most random questions in her life. That's because I always ask my friends questions about literally everything in life, from groceries to hormones to dating and money advice. Naka-only text ako sa kanila sa questions ko. And they do the same with me. So even if we don't get to see each other often, we always keep our communication lines open because we know that each of us are just a call or text away. And having that confidence of knowing that I can reach my friends anytime I want empowers me to brave life's changes and challenges And I'm really so happy that we live in a day and age where technology keeps us all so connected no matter where we are in the world. And thanks to Globe, I'm able to reach my friends anytime I want. So I have the courage to say, let's go forward together. Now, let's discuss the balance between independence and connection because it's a delicate dance. On one hand, we value our personal space and our autonomy, but on the other hand, we crave that companionship and support that friendships offer. Strong friendships and chosen families are often built on shared experiences, both the good and the challenging, because these shared moments can significantly contribute to our sense of purpose and belonging. This is also why I chose to create this podcast, because in a way, we too are a chosen family. We share similar life experiences, and we're also figuring it all out together. As we all navigate these challenges together, we're all learning resilience. We're growing alongside each other, and we celebrate our victories and also provide support during tough times. I want to encourage all of us to make a mental note right now of who our chosen families are. Who do we call when we need advice or when we're sad? Who shows up for us in other ways that others can't? And how can we foster those relationships? This is actually advice I need to take myself also right now because minsan sa kaka-focus natin sa independence or sa mga goals natin, sa kaka-independent girly ko personally, I get so caught up in work, and I'm sure a lot of us do. And it's easy for us to take for granted our chosen families and know that because we're so quote unquote kampante na alam natin nandyan lang sila isang tawag lang, sometimes hindi ko na masyado nare-replyan or nakakalimutan ko ng tawagan kasi busy, and alam ko na alam nila na busy ako. So in my mind, kampante ako na okay lang, bukas ko na sila tawagan kasi pagod na ako. Pero sa kakabukas-bukas-bukas, hindi mo na namalayan, isang buwan na pala or ilang buwan na lumipas, hindi na kayo nakapag-usap, right? So, I wanna make this a reminder for you, but also for me, that let's also take the time to foster those relationships as well. So, how can we keep connected with our chosen families? One, I would say, is to check in regularly. Like I mentioned, life gets busy, but a quick message or call can go a long way. Try to make it a habit to reach out and see how your friends are doing. Also, make sure you have a carrier that can help you foster your relationships. And if you don't, check out Globe's portfolio of data products that allow us to create the life we want for ourselves and our loved ones. Number 2 is to plan regular meetups. Whether it's a monthly brunch or a weekly walk, try to prioritize time together because these moments are what strengthen your bonds and create lasting memories. Number 3 is to embrace vulnerability. Being open and honest with your friends about your struggles can really deepen your connections, and vulnerability often fosters trust and allow for space for deeper support. Number 4 would be to prioritize quality over quantity. It's not about how many friends you have, but the quality of those relationships. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. Another thing is to support each other's goals and show up for each other when you can. Celebrate your friends' success and encourage them in their pursuits, because when we lift each other up, we all get to thrive together. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to remind everyone that navigating life as an independent person and solo flyer in this flight called life is a beautiful journey filled with both joys and challenges. Strong friendships are not just nice to have, they are essential in solidifying our sense of purpose and independence. Take it from me, guys. So take a moment today to reach out to a friend, share your goals, and celebrate your journeys together. Remember, you're not alone on this solo flight called life. There you guys have it. That is it for this episode today. How do you guys like it? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you can, please do share this episode with whoever your chosen family is so we can all go forward together. Thank you again for joining me today. If you enjoyed this episode, please do subscribe, leave a rating, and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, embrace your independence and nurture those connections. Bye.